Welcome to Kamikaze Podcast. I'm your host, Kento, and
And
co host,
I'm Keegan Martin.
and we have a special guest, PJ
I'm
Wong.
PJ Wong. Uh-huh.
So today's topic is about how college degree has become useless over time. And what do you think about college degrees, Keegan?
I think college degree, I definitely don't advocate for it. Um, to be honest with me, I never had to use it. I think it's literally 4 years throwing you're just throwing your 4 years into the trash. It's literally a waste of your time.
Mm,
Not even just your time, your money. It's a
mm,
waste of both things.
mm,
I personally think, they say, hey, you can meet friends, you can experience so many things in college or university.
mm.
But to be honest, you can experience that at a cafe, at a boba shop,
Yeah.
out at a park. You can experience things like that somewhere else
Mm,
without having to pay
mm,
200,000 for 4 years, 50,000 a year.
mm.
So
You know,
that's
I I wear a white jumpsuit. I'm an artist, and I wear a white jumpsuit, and I go out in the middle of Los Angeles
mm,
and I give strangers Sharpies and let them draw my jumpsuit, and that's how I start a conversation.
right.
So I dropped out of college, and instead of just staying in college, I just used in my city, Los Angeles, as an entire campus to meet people, and not had to pay a penny for that, except for like transportation and all that. But you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to meet people.
Right. What do you think about it, PJ?
I mean, for a guy who's going to college, uh, honestly, I think you guys are right. But like, if you go to college, just make sure like you got to be willing to do it. Like as for me, obviously, I'm not doing like a four-year degree. I'm just
Mhm.
going for like a certificate or like a certified for a job.
Mm,
But yeah, I think college is low key a waste of time because nowadays we have the internet,
mm,
for instance, and we have social media and we can like market ourselves
mm,
and do many things.
mm,
But I think college is low key kind of useless because it's basically you go there, you meet your professor, but you're basically just as smart as your professor, which your professor is basically still learning.
mm,
And
Right.
like, so what you learn from them is what they know, but they're still learning from someone else. So like, what's the point of
mm.
learning from them when you can just like, shoot, I'm just gonna go like explore around the world and just explore from people like different people and like see what their different point of view,
Mm.
of how to be successful in life. So that's just my
Yeah, speaking of different points of view, I think American colleges have biases because only 9% of the entire professor population is conservatives, and they certainly overlook those points of views.
Yeah. You know, um, that's kind of, that's a great thing to bring up because when I went to community college, when I even thought about going from community college to a 4 year, I noticed that college, university, even high school nowadays, it's not really about educating people anymore, but
Mm.
it's more about, kind of like forcing people to believe a certain way.
Yeah, programming.
Yeah, it's literally like programming. I mean, Kento, you and I, we both went to Japanese schools in elementary school. I
Yeah,
went, I went to middle school, so it was like a little more intense than elementary, right?
yeah.
That's when I,
So,
yeah, that's when I realized
mm,
like going to school is about programming.
mm,
It's not really about,
mm,
hey, we're gonna teach you what money is about. We're gonna teach you how to make money. We're gonna teach you how to become successful. It's not about that anymore. It was more about we're gonna teach you how to fit in society,
yeah.
right? And that's something that I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that because
Mm.
if you fit in society, sure, there's great things like if everybody's the same, maybe there's less crime, maybe there's, less, but there's less creativity, right? There's
Mm.
a lot of less things, and humans we're creative animals. So, like you said, PJ, if you have like the right mindset on going to university, if you know exactly what you want to do, and if that really requires a degree, then go for it.
Certainly.
But if you're going for something more creative,
Mm.
dude, like going to school, like that's
Mm.
that's what I'm talking about. That it's like the biggest waste of time, right?
Yeah. I think everybody learns at a different pace, even when
Right.
you're in elementary
Right.
school.
Mhm.
All you're creating is factory workers that works at the same pace. And there's this thing called the 504 plan and all that. I think it's bullshit, really.
Right. Uh-huh.
Uh, I was a 504 student, and thinking back on it, why did I do that? Why did I do it just to pass a stupid SAT or PSAT? You know,
Is the 504, what exactly is that?
504 plan allows, I guess, mentally challenged students to get extra time on tests,
Okay,
all that, just to pass the test. Really,
okay.
yeah. It helps if you're in a school setting, but school itself is just programming kind of bullshit. Really.
Right, I see.
Mm, yeah.
Like,
And parents have no option just to send kids to school because they need their time to work, and they need their time to think also. So
right. It makes sense because, like going to elementary, going to middle school, sure, it has to be mandatory. Like I agree.
mm,
There's a significant difference with someone not going to high school versus someone graduating high school, right?
yeah.
There's the significance, like there's a difference.
Mm,
Going to school is not always just about learning, but sometimes it's about learning how to socialize, even if you don't want to.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sometimes it's about, you know, experiencing like uncomfortable situations
Mm,
and kind of learning yourself,
mm.
right?
I'm sure you have those moments in your work environment.
Yeah, even like in work, um, I notice like certain scenarios where it's the exact same thing from high school, but the difference with work in high school is work is kind of a choice,
Mm.
and
School's mandatory.
right,
Mm,
school's mandatory, and with work you're getting paid for it.
mm.
So, it's a little bit different, but the scenario is the same, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I don't, I don't like, the idea of going to university college is because you're experiencing the same thing from high school, but you're paying a lot of money.
Yeah. And the US government profits from your student debt
Right,
with interest,
right.
even with a loan, you know.
Like that, that right there should be the answer to everyone if they want to go to school or not. Like,
Mm,
if you don't know if you want to go to school, that means you don't want to go to school.
mm.
You know? What do you think, PJ?
What do I think? I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
honestly, at the end of the day, it's like your life and like whatever you choose goes. Like if you don't want to go to school, then you don't have to, but you just have to have something to back up what you want to do in life, you know? You can't just be like wake up one day like, "Oh, mom, dad, I don't want to go to school anymore." And like, "Okay,
yeah,
then what are you going to do if you then how are you going to provide yourself?" And be like and you like, "I don't know." Then your only option is going to be going to school, you know?
right.
Mm.
Well,
Like
uh-huh.
like for me, like I think you two know I dropped like I didn't finish my 2 year what you call it, associates because I in Kansas, but I didn't like it because my teacher was a dick. He literally pulled me aside and be like, "Oh, PJ, I'm so sorry. I don't think you're gonna make it in music." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, bet." And then for that, so then I told this about my parents, and then yeah, shit happened, and uh, I
Yeah.
cried and shit, got let out emotions. But
Yeah.
fast
Don't.
forward to now,
Mm,
I'm doing massage, and I'm just like, I have a great teacher. He's basically telling me like all that college bullshit, like it's like all fucking, what would you call it? It's like a system. It's a whole system that's being controlled.
mm,
Because at the end of the day, it's up to you where you want to go with life and how you want to take about it.
mm. I want to talk about privileges because privileges do exist. Like for me, the reason I'm able to become an artist is because I have parents that are financially stable and I live in a big house and I could paint big stuff. What about low income people? Low income people have less room for to create some kind of entrepreneurial venture.
This is an amazing topic
Mm,
because like myself, all of us here actually,
mm,
we're very privileged when it comes to finance,
mm.
how we grew up. Like, dude, literally, like Kento, you and I, we came from Japan.
We came from Japan. We grew up in
And
Japan.
we
Yeah.
grew up in Japan. Japan's not a poor country,
No.
It's an amazing country actually.
Mm,
Over here, we live in LA,
mm.
and I mean, look at yourself, Kento. Like you have a house that you live in,
I have a house that I live
right?
in.
Like I'm pretty, I'm having a pretty nice lifestyle in my place. And look at you, PJ. Like you have your own room, you have a house, your parents are financially okay. So we are all financially fine.
Mm,
And yeah, like you get to do certain things when your parents are, like financially stable. But when I decided to move from Kansas to LA, I didn't have any support from my parents. I
yeah.
had I had no support from my parents, but it's not because they couldn't help me. It's because I wanted to be in an uncomfortable situation. So I'm forcing myself to do things that I have to do.
Mm,
Like, like I used to live in a place that was like 900 a month when I was only making like 1,000 a month at one point.
mm.
Like that shit's insane because I would only have like 50 bucks to survive, right?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
no, that's insane. So,
The rent's too high.
right, the rent's retarded,
Mm,
but it's not like I was being lazy, dude. I was working full time and I
yeah.
still didn't make enough money,
Mm,
right? And then there's people out there that say, "Oh, because I'm poor, I don't have privilege." What about me then?
mm.
Like,
I don't think our generation is just lazy. It's just how things are set up.
yeah,
And the setup
yeah,
has to change. It really has to change.
you know, um, like you said, it's not about our generation's issue.
It's
It's
a
really,
setup.
yeah,
It's
it's just really how it's set up. Like there was this one guy that I was talking to, and he straight up told me like, oh yeah, my house is worth 1.5 million. I'm having a really nice lifestyle, but my kids, on the other hand, they're so lazy, they're not making that much money, and I don't even know if they're gonna be able to purchase a house.
mm,
Dude, the difference with you and your kids, with you could purchase a house with only one income and a significantly lower income.
yeah.
With us, maybe you have a chance if
Mm,
both of you guys have a high income,
yeah.
then maybe you have a chance to
Mm,
purchase a home. That's the difference, right?
mm,
So, I told him, I'm like, hey man, I'm only 21 and I don't know how old you are, but you're comparing like oranges to apples. You're
mm.
comparing something that's a generation. There's a generation gap, you
Yes.
know, there's a generation gap. And
Mm,
how the hell, like, things changed,
Hmm.
you
But
know?
so the question is, how do we catch up to the inflation?
How
And
do we,
if this opportunity doesn't catch up to the inflation, we should not do that. And last year we nearly had a 10% inflation, which is insane.
yeah. Well, like what I would to be, you know what, PJ, I feel like we're talking over you. What do you
No,
think?
look, honestly, bro, with you two, like I learned a lot because like I barely know stuff. I'm just starting out, like being
Right,
independent.
right.
I finally am paving my way to life, to success. So like, honestly,
It's actually good news because you're just starting out and we're thinking about
I'm
this
learning
stuff.
about stuff. So like, everything you guys talk about, like, dude, I'm just learning. Like, whatever you guys know, I'm just taking into knowledge and just like writing it down.
Yeah.
Well, not physically writing it, but
Mm.
mentally.
Yeah,
You know, like,
we're all learning. So
like with my work,
mm,
um, I meet a lot of successful people. And when I mean successful, I mean like not even millions anymore. They have like billions,
mm,
and a lot of them say the same thing when it comes to how they were using their money. And they all tell me it's how you set up your life in your 20s.
yeah.
How you choose to live in your 20s is how your 60s is going to look like, right? So maybe that's a way to fight against inflation,
Mm,
is to start early, because we're really young, all of us right here.
yeah.
Like, we're super young and
Mm,
we're starting young. That's the difference. So going back to the college question,
mm,
sure, going to college, there's some benefits, right? A
mm,
lot of benefits. But guess what? Not going to college, if you know what you want to do,
mm,
and if it doesn't require a college degree,
mm,
you're literally saving yourself 4 years,
mm.
and you can figure out what you want to do in those 4 years. Maybe you can even start within the year, the second year, the third year. And then you get a head start before the person that actually went to college, you
Yeah.
know?
I think as men, we always had to question ourselves, how do we frame ourselves to other people? You know? Because if we know how to frame ourselves to other people, that's how we get our job. That's how we get, our partner, our longtime partner. And then that's how we just get over hurdles, you know.
Yeah. I think the reason why I think the way I think for my age is because of the people that I met,
Mm,
and not just the people that I met, because we all meet so many people, but when I met them, I didn't just treat it as, oh, I just met this guy. I forgot what conversation I had with this dude. Next, I treated
mm,
each of those conversation more with like I was taking notes as I was hearing them talk,
mm.
you know? And when you actually listen to what they have to say, you can kind of shave off so much time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're actually taking in information and trying to reconsider that into your life. And it's always good to experiment what people say because, that becomes your truth, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I might have not lived the lifestyle that PJ lived or you lived, but if I hear your experience,
Mm.
I don't have to live through that to understand that, right? And
Mhm.
to me, that's something that's so important, but so valuable
Mm.
that all of us kind of take it for granted, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah. We only have like 3 minutes until the Zoom stops recording. So if there are any other things you PJ want to say, you know.
Um, just want to say, y'all should go check out our new music.
Yeah. Yeah, we all do something creative. And this podcast is always going to be something about finance, society, and creativity. And
Yeah, and we're trying to make it positive. We're not trying to like
mm,
be pessimists here, right?
Yeah, we're trying to be optimists, but also try to be realists.
Right. And like, what we're saying is just like how we feel. It doesn't
Mm,
doesn't
Doesn't
mean
apply to anyone, you
yeah, it
know.
doesn't apply to anyone. It's just how I feel, how
Mm.
Kenta feels, how PJ feels. So like it doesn't apply to anyone. If it does apply to you, then great. But if it doesn't, then it's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
But anyways, I just want to say thank you for having me,
yeah,
and Kento, and
yeah.
I
Of
hope to see you
course,
guys
of course,
next
PJ.
time.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah, for sure.
thanks, Keegan, for joining today. I mean,
Of course.
we had some miscommunications in the past, but we're gonna get together through this experience.
Yeah, this is really fun,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we'll keep improving our podcast.
And part two is coming up real soon, huh?
Yes, part 2 coming up real soon.
All right then.
All right. Thank you. And see you soon.